Hello and welcome to another session of It's Tea Time with myself, Neville Gaunt, and my very good friend, PJ Coach, Tony Westwood. Tony, how you doing?
Great, thanks, Neville. How are you today?
Really good, because we got something even more exciting than normal to talk about today, which we're going to briefly introduce about change. And what I've found a lot actually is when I'm asked to go and help someone, coach somebody, when I say start the session off and I say, are you okay? You ready to do something different? And I get lots of blank stares. In other words, what do you mean different? I just want to tweak something. My point is that's different. So whatever you're doing now, you want to be doing something different. Otherwise, you're not going to change. Do you find that when people come to you that first time of coaching?
Absolutely. I mean, the number of times I've had your clients walk in for the first time and say, I want to hit the ball better, but I really don't want to change too much, then it happens quite a lot, really. And sadly, you've just got to explain that, well, maybe if you're already doing it, you won't be standing in front of me now. And maybe we've got to change a little and understand what's going on to actually work out what you need to do. And I think the key thing is as we both know, it's then a process of asking questions to discover where they are so you can begin to help them understand where they'd like to be.
Exactly. And it's that questioning that we as coaches we accept actually it's our challenge to find the right question.
Correct.
Whereas a lot of people will say, well, no, they should be answering every question. Well, if they can, they will. But I know for a fact that a lot of people have never thought the way we think. And therefore, I don't know is actually a pretty common response, to
Oh,
be honest
definitely.
with you. And I'm sure you get that quite a lot of the time, you know?
Well, I say at the beginning of my sessions that one, yeah, I'm going to ask lots of questions. I'm going to ask questions for two reasons. The first reason is I'm very nosy. The second reason is I need to understand where you are and then we can begin to move forwards. What I then follow up with, though, is I give them an I don't know card. It's absolutely fine to say, I don't know. It's a bit like the get out of jail free card in Monopoly, except you can play it whenever you like. You can't just play it once, you can play it as many times as you like. I then take the pressure off them by saying, the pressure's on me to find the right question. The reason I've asked that question is I think you know the answer. And the reason I think you know the answer is I've asked the same or similar question to countless golfers who've stood or sat exactly where you are today. So just relax, enjoy yourself, and let me do all the thinking about what is the right question to help you to make progress within where you are today.
Yeah, and it's as simple as that. I love the I don't know card. Um, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if I'm speaking with chief execs and they say, I don't know, I normally turn around and say, surely you're paid to know. So it's a little different in that respect because I'm looking at the business and they really should be pretty knowledgeable about the business. After all, they are the chief exec or in the C-suite. But for golfers, the I don't know approach, I think, is absolutely brilliant because the interesting thing is if they don't know the answer to that question, it's not because they don't know, it's just because they're not listening to the question. And
Yeah, absolutely,
we need to be focused on that question. And
definitely. It's really sorry to interrupt there, Neville, but it's really interesting that I'll ask the question very early on when somebody's hitting golf shots. At this point, we may have some video or whatever, and then I'll ask the question. I'll say, "Can you just tell me what part of the ball you think you just hit?" So the ball may have gone a bit to the right or a bit to the left or whatever. It's gone a bit low. So can you just tell me which part of the ball you just hit? And the first thing they do is they start looking down at the club head and pointing to where they think they may have hit it on the club head. And at that point, I have to stop them and say, no, can you just repeat what the question was, please? Because they weren't really listening to the question in the first place. And they've already created their own little scenario of what they've just done based on the facts that they understand. And those facts that they think they understand may not be facts at all. So we've actually got to strip it back and say, we both know, the facts are you're going to hit a certain part of the ball with the club face at a certain angle and the club travelling at a particular height. And that's it. And if we can begin to unpick that, we can begin to work out what's happening.
Exactly. And that's where we know we can help any golfer improve, because we keep the process very simple. And when we've got one-to-one, I mean, we've seen all the testimonials that you've had over the years, Tony. When you've got that one-to-one relationship with someone, they suddenly get joy back in the game. They understand, actually, the game of golf is about having fun, because it's supposed to be a game. I mean, I don't know anyone that, except for when you go to watch a football match and your side loses, you still had fun. You might be disappointed that your team's lost, but you've had fun. You've gone to watch a game. And the nice thing about golf is there's no life-threatening issue here. So how bad can it be is a phrase I know you use quite a bit, and so do I, because it can't be that bad. And the nice thing is on the driving range, it can't be bad at all. There is no bad in this because this is real learning. You're not going to drop shots. You're not going to lose a point. Your mates aren't going to laugh at you. This is about you being on the driving range, hitting a ball and feeling good, even if you've sliced it, the worst slice in the world. You know what's been happening.
Absolutely. I mean, the golfer who's then standing in front of me, and we've started to discuss what's happening. Could they do something a little bit different? I will very often say, before they hit that first shot, after we've had that initial intervention, is, come on then, let's find out how bad it can be. And inevitably they stand up and say, what do you mean? I said, well, you're here because you've not been hitting the ball great anyway. So in doing something new with the new knowledge that we've just been discussing, let's find out how bad it can be compared to where you actually were. And I would say, 9 times out of 10, it's never as bad as they think it's going to be. And inevitably, it's generally a lot better and it's easier. So my focus for all of my clients is, one, can I get them hitting the ball the same distance they already are with less effort? If you've got somebody doing what they were already doing, but they're doing less, that's fantastic, because who wouldn't want that? What that does open up, though, it opens up the world of possibility. If they're already hitting the ball the same distance with less effort, surely that opens up the possibility that at some point in the future, the ball will begin to go a bit further. And who wouldn't want the golf ball a little bit further, still without putting in a great deal of effort? But they have to let go. They have to trust their ability to move a club and hit a golf ball.
And that, as we both know, that for a 4-year-old is dead easy, because they love swinging and hitting. On quite a few occasions, they swing and they miss. But they probably laugh at themselves. Because there's no pressure. Golfers put pressure on themselves. There's absolutely no pressure in hitting a ball. And the more relaxed you are, as you and I both know, tension's a killer. Tension's a killer in golf. Tension's a killer in work. Tension's a killer at home. If there's tension in the air, you won't get your best out of you or anybody else.
Correct.
So, and this is where I think your get out of jail free card, I don't know, is a great opportunity, because after they've said that the first time, how do they feel?
They just feel really relaxed. It's liberating, isn't it? Think what it would have been like at school if you could have sat there in class and just gone, I'm sorry, I really don't know. You know, rather than thinking you've got to know everything, all of a sudden they realize they don't have to know everything. It's okay to be free, to be simple, and just think, all right, okay, maybe I do know, but I need a bit more information, or I need a different question to open up the possibility that I can begin to understand what's actually happening. And once you begin to, I'll get somebody who plays football. Let's say that they play football, they're a decent footballer and they're right-footed. And I'll ask them, which part of the golf ball did you hit? Well, I don't know. You know, I'm thinking about lots of other things. How can I think about the golf ball? All right, let's stop for a moment then. I said, tell you what, that's no longer a golf ball sitting on the carpet in front of you. It's a football. If I ask you to kick that football down the right wing and you're stood in the middle of the pitch, which side of the football are you going to kick? Oh, it's easy. I'm going to kick it on the left. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Now let's shrink it back down to a golf ball. And now you just hit that golf ball to the right. So what part of the golf ball did you hit? Well, I suppose I've hit it on the left, haven't I? Well, it's still a ball. The clue's in the name. Football, golf ball. They're the same shape. Physics is physics as far as I was concerned. So maybe we do know the answer, but we've never been asked that question. I think that's the important thing for golfers. Nobody's ever asked them that question, but what they've been told or given a lot of information to tell them how to do it. And exactly. That's where MindFit Golf comes in, because it focuses on understanding what happened to the ball, not what the golfer did, and then make progress from there.
And regular listeners will already know that it's all about where you hit the ball. It's as simple as that. And those that have read the MindFit Golf for Kids book know that on the front of that book, and you can almost see it behind Tony, we say the game of golf is really quite simple. It can all be explained by the size of a dimple. Most golfers don't know how big a dimple is.
No.
Actually, the majority of golfers don't know how big a golf ball is. But there you go. That's another story. And that's where we're going to leave it today. So how bad can it be? Well, it's not life or death. Try it. Change comes through doing something different. Improvement comes through change. So therefore, if you want to improve, you're going to have to do something different. That's all we're going to say for today. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next on It's Tea Time.
Have a great time. See you, everybody.